Okay. This will be episode 9. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to episode 9 of these Sports Nuts. It's your co-host said.
As your boy Ayemi.
All right, and we got a special guest host on here, man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah. So my name is Ben with BS3 Radio, and we do sports, we do music, we do life. That's what we do on the station. And man, just glad to be on. Love talking sports. That's my hobby. Hopefully that'll be a full time one day.
There we go. All right, you got any?
Hey, good to have you,
anything,
brother.
Plug?
Yeah. You can plug the YouTube channel, youtube.com BS3 Radio. BS3radio.com. That'll take you to everything that you need, all the episodes we drop, everything that we put out. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, we're going to jump right into it, man. So, first topic, man. Did everybody catch Paul Pierce top 5 players? And what you think about that? Like, initially, he had LeBron in there, and then he took LeBron out and put Kobe in. Like, do you think he being petty? Or do you think it's a legit top 5? They do have history. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, they do. Paul Pierce is going into that petty category. He definitely is. I think he's just one of those, like Draymond Green when he called him out, man. Like, they don't love you like that. I think that that hurt him so bad. Now he's becoming like King Petty when it comes to coming to commentators. But I honestly, I did not see the list, so I'm about to pull it up right now. But I know if you're taking Kobe out, you're taking LeBron out, and you're putting Kobe in, you know, you can. I think there's definitely some argument that you can have there.
Yeah. So another thing to keep in mind, I don't know if y'all heard about this or not, but this was LeBron's rookie season. Paul Pierce actually spat at LeBron.
Really?
Separate. So this, to me, this is definitely Paul Pierce being petty, man. Like, I saw a stat like LeBron has literally scored his most points of his career against Paul Pierce. Like, he literally 1,000 points on Paul Pierce alone. You know what I mean? So I think your boy Paul being petty, man. I think he took it personal.
It's just like, I agree. It's like Isiah Thomas taking Jordan, or saying Jordan isn't one of the top 5 guys he played against, or whatever his statement was about Michael Jordan. Paul Pierce has been petty, and we know Bron is top 5. And I'm the first to give Bron a lot of flack. You know, I'm gonna keep it real with where I feel about him, but honestly, he has to be a top 5 ever. So no matter what you say about that man, how you look at it, top 5 definitely. And Paul Pierce just being petty.
Yeah. Oh man, if I can read it off the top of my head, I know you got MJ first. I think it's Magic.
He got Kareem. He got Jordan, Kareem, Bill Russell, Magic, and Kobe. Which, yeah, that's not a bad list. I think the thing is, though, it's in eras. Like, basketball is in eras. It's very hard to say or to put people in a list in a top 5. I think it's extremely difficult to do. But I think if you do it, you got to do it almost based in eras. But to me, Jordan is still one. If The Last Dance didn't prove anything, that proved that Jordan is the GOAT. So, but it's hard to put it in the top 5. So I kind of feel for Paul Pierce a little bit.
And my thing is, I totally agree with you, man. And my thing is, usually when people name off their top 5 players, no matter what sport it's in, somebody in that top 5 is going to be someone that played in that person's era and who was like the greatest in his era. So for Paul Pierce, in his era, LeBron was the greatest. And you can put Kobe second. Some people can argue Kobe may have been better during this era. But the era that Paul Pierce played in, the 2 best players he ever saw play and he played against is Kobe and LeBron.
Right.
So how you not put LeBron in the top 5? Wilt and Jordan, and yeah, they get there, but those are different eras. Paul didn't have to play night in and night out against those guys. But those guys, they made their marks anyway. But it's got to be somebody in your top 5 of players that you played against, that played in your era, and that was a stud. LeBron is that. I mean, if you go to football, the people who played in the 80s, shit, Walter Payton was a tough guy. So they're going to say Walter Payton. But then you come in, now you say Tom Brady, if you played against Tom Brady all these years. So it's usually somebody out of your era, at least to be one of your top 5 players of all time.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that too. And I think like Kareem, Magic. I mean, I'm 37, so I mean, I a little bit about them, but I can't say Kareem was dropping 30 a night because I don't know. I mean, unless I look up the stats, I can't say the same thing about Magic either. But I can say that about Jordan and about Kobe. And so yeah, I agree with what you're saying too.
Yeah. And I think Kareem kind of played before and during the Magic period because he came into the league in the 70s. Because he played with the Bucks for like 7 years, then he played for the Lakers. So I get it. I think Kareem is the top 5 player. I mean, he's the all-time leader in points. So it's
right. His longevity and his consistency is what put him top 5.
Right.
Yeah.
He never just dominated. He did it for so long, so well, like Tim Duncan,
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. So like you said, I agree. You kind of got to do it by eras. And Kareem and Magic kind of in the same era, but kind of in different eras because Kareem came in a lot earlier before Magic came to the league. So I can agree with that, but come on, man. You got to have LeBron in your top 5, man. You just got to. You know what I'm saying? They should just throw on some gloves one day and go ahead and get it over with.
Paul don't want that. He don't want that smoke.
Yeah, he's not ready for that smoke. Nah. Paul got a lot of people you need to fight. You need to fight Draymond Green. You need to fight. You probably need to fight Chauncey Billups. I mean, you got a long list.
Man.
Barkley either.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right, man. We're going to keep it moving. So, if you don't know, my uncle was born and raised in Chicago. So, he Bulls, MJ. Okay. So, with that being said, the Last Dance has ended. Overall, what was your thoughts from it? What did you take away from it? And it's a lot of things coming out this week, especially that audio. So what do you think about The Last Dance as a whole?
Man, I thought it was great, man. To me, it gave you a different perspective of Jordan that if you didn't live in Chicago, maybe that you didn't really see. It gave you a background of him. It gave you some perspective on the teammates. I like what they did with Pippen. I like what they did with Kerr. I mean, we did a reaction video from everyone, and that was really the first time of me doing something like that. But it was so much content in each episode. I was watching it. My wife was watching it. My daughter, she's 8. She don't know who anybody is, and she was watching it. I mean, it was so great to see how everything happened. Now, you come to this week, and now everybody's like, "Oh, I didn't say that," and why are you saying it like that? And a lot of stuff was edited, but that's going to kind of happen. But to me, this is the best sports documentary that I've seen, and I think it really dived deep into a team that either you loved them or you hated them, but you had to respect them because they had somebody dope at every single position, and except I guess you can say except center. But it really didn't matter. I mean, you had everybody else at all the other spots, so it was great. I didn't have anything negative to say about it.
All right, what you think?
I say the same. I diehard Bulls fan since '83. When I started playing ball, I actually started playing ball like in '81. But anyway, diehard Bulls fan. Jordan came along. At that time, I was still a Lakers fan because all my buddies called me Magic on the court. So Magic for the Lakers, I was a Lakers fan for many years until Jordan came along and changed the dynamics of Chicago. With that being said, Scottie Pippen is my all-time favorite player. Jordan is the best. He's number one at what he did, but Pippen is my favorite player, and then Jordan. With that being said, Scottie had some things that happened with him that is showed in that docu-series that he, probably wouldn't want it to come to light, but it did, and it's part of his legacy.
Right.
But what kills me is how people harp on that. Scottie was so much more than that migraine headache and that refusing to come in the game. And that refusing to come in the game with that 1.7 seconds left against the Knicks, that was horrible. That was bad. Worst thing he could ever did. Worst thing on his career. But his career isn't built around just that. That guy did so much more for the Bulls team, for those 6 championships, and for basketball. He changed the game by being that type of player that he was. So I don't understand how the only thing they talk about Scottie is with those where the most you hear about is because of him refusing to come in the game, which is true, and he deserved to get flack from it, but the guy was so much more than that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that people forget is he was one of the top 50 players. And people forget that. Like, Scottie was on the dream team. Scottie was a part of the dream team. It wasn't like he was just there just because he was Robin to Batman. He was there because he's a top 50 player. And then I like how they talked about when Jordan was gone, how Scottie was the leader of the team, how people felt like they weren't yelled at anymore. And then kind of trying to change in topics a little bit, everybody was ragging on Jordan, but when you was winning championships, when you was getting ring after ring after ring, you wasn't saying nothing then. And now you starting to feel some type of way because this whole thing is coming out. But Jordan got the best out of everybody. Nobody can deny that. And he would put whatever in his head, he had to put in his head to score 60 a night on somebody. So,
and that's why Cedric and I had a discussion on our previous recordings about, was Jordan actually a bully, or do I accept the way he had to get his teammates to get up?
Yeah.
Hey, whatever it took, this guy lived and breathed basketball and winning. And if you're gonna play with him, you gotta be at the best that you can be, and he's gonna do whatever he has to do to get you there. I certainly can see that. I can understand that. As hard as it may be on some of these guys, step your game up. Will Perdue said it best to me. Will Perdue was in the interview. He was like, man, the guy was a jerk. Yep, he was a jerk. Was he an asshole? Yeah, he was an asshole. But at the end of the day, and when I look back at this, he was the best teammate I ever had because he brought out the best in you. And I remember Will Perdue, for the first couple of years in Chicago, was nothing. He was just a lanky white boy who really couldn't do nothing. He had bad hands. But as the years went on and we became champions, he wasn't no dominant player or anything like that, but he definitely was better than what he was the prior years. He learned how to control the ball and grab it. He learned how to take a fake and then go up and dunk the ball with aggressiveness. He was just a much better player, and you have to pay attention to him. Like, he didn't make a difference in that team as far as winning, but when he was out there and he got his little minutes, he did the best he could do, and it was very good. So, yeah, Jordan made all these guys, but Scottie Pippen, he came to that team. He was a bench player, but Jordan helped him rise to his potential, bring out the best in him.
Yeah, and I think Scott Burrell was the one that said it best, is that Jordan didn't know that we couldn't get to his level, but he tried his hardest to get us there, and that's what propelled him to win the championships. And you gotta hats off to Phil too. The Phil backstory I thought was really good too.
Yeah. What I wanted to
agree.
I think this documentary probably the best. Yeah, as far as basketball, like Hoop Dreams, that used to be my movie in high school, but this is probably by far the best basketball documentary I've seen. My only thing is, I wish they would have covered more of the actual Bulls as a whole than it was like more of like a Michael Jordan documentary with like this players sprinkled in here and there. I wish they would have focused on like the team. Like I wish they would have showed like more of the practices, what went on during the practices, and then how they hung out. Because I listened to this Dennis Rodman interview. Like before this documentary, I thought Pippen and Jordan was like this, but according to Rodman, like once they left the stadium, like they didn't talk on the phone, they didn't hang out together. Like I thought they was the way they played. I thought they were this. So I definitely thought the documentary was great, but I just wish they would have showed more of the actual Bulls, like the whole team and how they practice and all of that. You know, they showed snippets of Jordan going in on Scott Burrell. Like, whew, I couldn't do it. Like me and MJ would have had to throw some hands, bro. Like he can't call me no hoe, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, MJ. We gotta throw some hands, bro. But I thought the documentary.
But he did, Mike.
What'd you say?
Yeah, Mike even said he was trying to get Scott to fight him, just to bring some evenness out of, not evenness, but some aggressiveness, some anger. And he said Scott was just too much of a nice guy. He wouldn't fight him. Mike was just trying to, you know, juice him up, get him anger, make him play with aggression, make him play hard and tough, you know, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So that's why Jordan rolled that man so hard, man.
Basically, he was trying to bring the dog out. He was trying to bring the dog out of all of these guys. And I think Steve Kerr stepped up to Jordan and punched him in the chest. And then from there on, you could see how their relationship kind of went to greatness together, even when you get to the finals. Yeah. But Cedric, man, I agree with you, because it was almost like it was Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, but they just sprinkled in interviews with everybody.
Right.
I would have loved to see something with them like all together, maybe like sitting on a bleacher or something like that. Like, hey, you know, we're all together. This is one last time thing. Do a video shoot or something like that. But I liked, even though it was sprinkles, it was good to see BJ Armstrong. He was one of my favorite players. He was a short guy. I was a short guy. So, you know, BJ was one of my favorite players. But yeah, they didn't really dive too deep into it as a team. And you could have called it Michael Jordan's last dance. That's what you could have called it, because that's kind of what it really ended up being.
Yeah. I think they misled everyone by calling it the Chicago Bulls last dance, when it was basically about Jordan and some. You know, they interviewed and did some background on some of the bigger guys like Rodman and Scotty and Phil. But those other guys really, and Steve got a little, you know, history on him put out there. But, you know, that was it. It's pretty much about Jordan.
Yeah, I wish they would have, like, had mics and video, like, during the actual Bulls games that season. Like, I wish they, you know how they mic everybody up? I wish we could have got the audio. They probably couldn't play it on the air, but.
Probably not.
Audio and video of the actual games, like during timeouts and when it was on the bench. Like, I think that would have been good.
Yeah.
But I have to say, man, ESPN was letting it fly. Like they was saying all types of cuss words. Like it didn't even matter. I was surprised the ESPN was okay with that.
They kept it raw.
They
kept it raw. Let it be 100.
Yeah.
That's
they weren't playing with it.
Yeah.
That's another reason made it so great, because they kept it 100. They didn't edit none of that out. Everything that was said was aired.
Yeah.
Good shit.
I know Jordan was that raw. You know what I mean? Like Jordan just let everything fly.
I'm Chicago. I grew up around his whole career. I saw all his games, all the interviews. Never once did we ever hear him cuss. So when we saw this docuseries and he was like calling bitches and hoes, and I was like, what? This isn't Jordan. This isn't the Jordan we know all these years. And I'm telling you, I've seen everything about him. His whole career in Chicago. Every game we there. We saw everything, interviews, everything outside. Not once did we hear him curse, man. and he was in practice. I was tripping on that. So that was funny to me, man.
Yeah, he was politically correct. Everything that I've ever seen from him, and in this interview, he was like, "Yeah, that's BS from Isiah. Whatever you got to say, I ain't gonna believe it." I was like, "Man, like y'all, they need to throw hands. They need to have a celebrity, an NBA celebrity boxing. Them two just need to get in the ring, just duke it out, and whoever wins, y'all can just
facts.
Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah,
y'all too old.
My money on Zeke, bruh.
Zeke tried to coach, choke out the coach that one time. So Zeke don't play, man.
His old coach at that.
It's like coach. He just blanked out, like I'm choking somebody, whoever here.
Oh man! First neck I can get my hands around, boy.
Right, exactly. I don't care who it is. If it's a kid, you about to get your
man. That was hilarious.
Yeah, for Freewell, bro. Zeke started off the.
Hey, it's the first time we had a Speedwell reference in there.
Man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, man. So keeping in line with the Last Dance, man. So the Jordan audio leaked a couple of days ago. So Jordan is on video saying, "I had nothing to do with Isiah Thomas being left off the Dream Team." But audio surfaced saying pretty much, if he playing, I'm not joining. So what y'all think about that? Like pretty much Jordan caught in the, since he balled, Jordan was caught in the ball-headed lie. What y'all think about that?
Nothing. Fuck Isiah. And nobody want to play with him anyway. Nobody on that Dream Team want to play with him. I mean, let me slow it down. But to be real, yeah, Jordan, video saying, "Hey," because he's just trying to stay away from the crap. Everybody knew Jordan didn't want to play with him, and Jordan may not have played if Isiah was on that team. And I think a couple of other people, Pippen wouldn't have played. Maybe Karl Malone probably wouldn't have played. There's a few other people who wouldn't have played. The only one who really probably would have had Isiah back on that team was Magic at that time. Would say, "Man, come on, let's play with him." But he got to a point where him and Zeke fell out. So with what that team was trying to accomplish, being the Dream Team, the first team put together of NBA players, professional players to go play for this country, they have to bond. It ain't like an all-star game. You play one game and y'all go y'all separate way. They was going to be together for weeks together. So they got to bond. Isiah was not going to fit in that. He just wasn't. So Jordan trying to keep it low-key or whatever, but he wasn't going to play. And of course he said it. It's just like the other day said, I wrote on our page, LeBron wasn't the top 5, but I was messing around. I'm just keeping it, just playing around. But he is a top 5. So I think nothing of that. Yeah, Jordan said it, and he got it on video to Isiah to shut up and shouldn't have been the way he was. That's all. And I love Isiah. Don't get me wrong, Chicago player. I love his career. I loved him. And I just cannot, for the life of me, get past how him and some of his guys bowed out and didn't want to shake hands at the end of that series. And all them series prior to that, when they kept beating us, as mad as we were, pissed off, Jordan shook hands every time. I just don't get that. So,
yeah, I don't think it would have worked. I don't know if that was Jordan or somebody else that basically said, you got to think Larry Bird was on that team, Ewing was on that team. Like a lot of these guys was from the Eastern Conference, and they played, the bad boys. So no, they wouldn't have got along. I would have loved to maybe see it happen, but I'm not surprised if this that Jordan would have or would not have said this, whatever the audio was. But it is true. Jordan would have been on that team, and there is no way that the best player on the planet would not have been on the Dream Team. So Jordan, if it was his decision, if it was whoever else's decision, Isiah wasn't going to be on that team, period. So it was kind of out of, to me, I think it was out of Jordan's hands anyway. All he had to do was say, "I'm not coming," and they said, "Oh, well, we'll send Isiah a fax because they ain't have pages or nothing." So we'll send Isiah a fax to to the Auburn Mills Center or wherever they played. I'm not surprised at all. And I think Jordan, like he said, he did whatever he had to do to win. Basketball was his focus, and then his brand was his focus. So he wasn't going to let anybody screw that up. So I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the right decision was made, but this man straight up lied.
Jordan don't care, man. He ended up getting divorced. I mean, a lot of stuff happened in his life, so he was definitely lying. Let's not fool ourselves. He was never lying.
You know, one thing that I took from this documentary, especially from Jordan, like, I agree with it because the older I get, the pettier I get. Like, Michael Jordan is the pettiest celebrity I know. 50 Cent was petty.
Being petty. The trophy has been passed. he was petty on, what was that guy's name? Bradford, whatever that guy's name was from the Bullets.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me this dude that you never seen before, you got beef with this guy? Jordan held a grudge to the end, man. His tombstone is gonna have a list of everybody he had a grudge against.
Right.
You still got the list, man.
He still got that hit list. He was like, "Who else I need to get?" I ain't got LeBron yet, so I need to figure out how I'm gonna get LeBron.
Hey, he did with this document. Hey, Cedric, did you say he made this come out during the LeBron championship for Cleveland? Like, oh, no, I ain't gonna let him get all this spotlight. Let me go on and sign these papers.
You know what? That was his pettiness. Because he signed off on it during the Cleveland Cavaliers championship parade. Like, that's when he agreed to do it. So he was probably at home smoking that long-ass cigar. Like, bruh, yep, it's all good. Let's do it right now.
True, man, true. Jordan's almost like, man, like Jerry Jones, man. If the Cowboys are in the news, if it's good, bad, ugly, terrible, Jerry Jones is happy. If Jordan is in the news and the Jordan brand, I mean, they signing Zion and signing Tatum, Jason Tatum, and all of that, man. He's okay. I think he's okay with whatever publicity he gets.
I agree, man. Like, at the end of the day, he's good at what he did, and he's good at what he continues to do. Jordans will always be the #1 selling shoe.
Always.
Brand would never be taken, bro. Like, that's the top-notch brand. So, kudos to MJ, bro. You petty, but at the end of the day, it pays off.
True, man. So true.
All right, man. Moving on. So, this is a possibility. We won't know till next season, but what do you think about the possible Bradley Beal trade? So, the Brooklyn Nets are going to offer up Levert and Dinwiddie for Bradley Beal. So, I think it's a great addition to the Nets. Like, their bench is not going to be good, but that starting lineup, if they add Bradley Beal the way he played this season, they're going to be a problem in the Eastern Conference if they pull that trade off.
If that trade happens, I can see both teams getting good pieces. Dinwiddie is an up and coming scorer, so the Nets giving them up, it's gonna suck. But to bring in Bradley Beal, you can't argue that. Washington getting Dinwiddie is going to be great for them. So, and you said Levert as well. So that's two good pickups for them. So yeah, that's gonna help both teams. Both teams will be happy with that trade. But the winner of that trade would be the Nets because you putting Bradley Beal over there with Kyrie and KD, man, that's another start of Splash Brothers. Probably not quite like it, of course, but that's going to be a good trio.
Oh yeah, I would, if they pull that off, I would have Nets coming out the East. Like I truly don't believe in Milwaukee.
Well, they're going to need some people around them. They're going to still need some help. them three ain't gonna get it done by themselves. And we already know KD and Kyrie, as much as I love those guys, they aren't leaders. They aren't guys you can say they're gonna lead this team and get everybody together and get on the right track to make this big push. So that's still gonna be an issue that they're gonna need to solve. And then getting some people off that bench to help them out because they still gonna need some help. So I won't quite give them the East yet, and it's because of I still like Toronto and Boston, but we have to see what both of those teams do as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great pickup for Brooklyn. To me, they almost lowballing. I'm surprised it's not a pick put in there, even if it's a second or a first. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie and Levert, I mean, they're good, but I mean, I don't know if that – to me, that would be a great pickup for the Nets. Now, the starting lineup, like you said is going to be nice. That bench, I don't know who they have on that bench. So that's going to be that's going to be hard when it comes to playoff time because you can do good in the regular season, but you're gonna have to figure out who's going to be coming off that bench. But do you think they'll have DeAndre Jordan as long as he's not, leaving or depending on what goes with that, KD, Kyrie, and then Bradley Beal? I think that'll be great. I mean, they should be possibly coming out of the East, but you got to think about if Philly can get their stuff together. I don't know what the coach probably gonna have to go in order for them to get it together, and then the Celtics.
Yeah, I don't like Philly. We go in on Philly
all the time.
I can already tell the sounds like our faces there.
I'm gonna break it down for you for Philly. I like Embiid. Ben Simmons is cool, but Ben Simmons, the way he plays, he does not want to take his game to the next level. Like, he's a 6'10" point guard that can't shoot. So the way he plays, he won't last in this league long. Like, he won't have that speed and agility forever. He's going to have to shoot that ball. And until he does that, he will not be great. And then Embiid, probably, I would give him the best center in the league. But he does not dominate every night. He will give you a good game probably every 5 games, but he don't give it his all each time he steps on that court. And until both of them step up, Philly, nah.
Yeah, they just don't want it enough. They're not hungry for it enough. They're satisfied. They're content with where they are. They can talk the talk. Oh man, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get better, but they're not trying. They're not doing it. Ben Simmons, okay, you can't shoot. You can work on that jump shot. But in the meantime, you 6'10", 260, 250, whatever you are, go dominate the paint against these other guys. And I mean dominate. Demand the ball and go in there and do work. He doesn't. He doesn't look to let me get this ball. Give it to me down here. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. No, he doesn't do that. He's just shy away here. Pass the ball. He'll go to a corner. And, hey, if I get the ball back, cool. If I don't, cool. He's not – he doesn't want it. And Embiid, and I like Embiid somewhat. He's just so lazy. He doesn't bring it consistently night in, night out like the big guy's supposed to do. So that team – and it's coaching. It's part of coaching. It's part of self what's the word I'm looking for? You got to want it yourself. You got to say, hey, no matter what, I'm going to go by here and raise my game to the next level. They don't want it, man. Philly is just a waste of time. They really just a waste of time, man. Waste of talent.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't trust that coach with the way that whole organization handled the Markelle Fultz situation. I mean, the dude sitting on the bench, I think they were down like 3-1. They're like, oh, well, we ain't played you all series, Markelle. Why don't you go there and come here now and try to save it for us? Like, the dude's been on the team the whole year. Right. If his elbow is good or whatever, put the dude in the game, and then they end up trading him. It's like doing one part of that the Sixers talking about the process. They had Okafor, then they had Nerlens Noel for a minute, then they got Embiid, then they had somebody else. I mean, like, I think they got a good nucleus, but they got to want it, man. So Ben Simmons, the only thing I got to say is Ben Simmons better be working on that jumper right now. You better have a court at your house, which I'm sure you do. You got enough money to do it. Get in the gym and just shoot jumpers. That's it. All you should be doing, shooting 10,000 jumpers a day. You ain't got nothing else to do. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, man. That's what pissed me off about Ben Simmons. Like, people send me, like, Instagram videos. He's at Lifetime Fitness lighting it up, shooting threes, like, all last summer. He gets league this year. Dwight Howard got more made three-pointers than Ben Simmons.
He's not shooting enough. That video is doctored. That's the same shot. They just keep looping it.
You're right. Yeah.
I honestly think he's scared to shoot the ball. I think he's scared of missing. I think that's why he don't shoot, man. Like, I don't know what it is. He needs psychiatric help, bro. Because
maybe. I mean, if your coach, if it's not anybody on that team is like, hey man, what you do this weekend? I was hanging out with the Kardashian crew. You're supposed to be practicing on some jumpers, man. I was at the club. Like, if somebody on that team needs to tell him, like, get in the gym with him. Like, whatever you need to do. If they really want to win, I agree with you, Orlando. If they really want to win, man, they gotta put the work in. It's not gonna come easy.
Yeah.
Facts. Damn, we done got off topic. Okay, Bradley Beal trade. So, with that being said, if that trade happens, who you got coming out the East next year? If everything stays the same, like if no big free agent signings or trades, like who you got coming out the East next year if that trade happens?
I think it's hard to tell really right now. I put Brooklyn up there, but again, they have to address their bench. I don't think just those three guys, and the reason I don't think just those three guys can lead them without having some backup on that bench is because they just don't have no real true leadership. You know, with Golden State and they big three, which was Steph, Clay, and Draymond. This is before KD came along. They had the bench players who knew their role, can come out and do what they had, and they had leadership in Draymond, you know, who make sure things is on track, make sure everybody is on the same page, make sure things was rolling the way it needs to roll for them to win. KD, Kyrie don't have that. Can Bradley Beal be that third guy? I mean, that leader? I don't know. Coming to the team where he's joining them, I don't know if he got I mean, if they was going to Washington, he could say, yeah, this is my team, y'all, let's do this. But him going to them, I don't know if he's going to be ready to become that leader. So I think they're going to be, you're going to see up and down with that team until they can get a true leadership or one of those guys step up and become a true leader and still have to adjust their bench. But they're going to be right there with just the talent they have. They'll be right there. But I don't know if they'll come out. I can't just say they'll come out the East.
Yeah, man, the East is so interesting. It's going to be so interesting next year. It's interesting this year right now, especially with what the Raptors have been able to do. I completely counted the Raptors out. So I got to give props to Nurse and everybody on that squad because I thought without Kawhi, I mean, Kawhi was like, that was the it factor that they had. But if you look at the Celtics, they got a shot, but I don't really believe in them. You look at Philly, we just dissected everything about them. So I'm not 100% in on them. And then Milwaukee, which that was the pick to go to the finals last year, and they ended up losing. So it's almost like, to me, there's no trust really in the East. But if I had to pick a team, I would go with Brooklyn. I think they would figure it out, get it together. The only key thing, as long as Kyrie don't go down with an injury, that dude needs, I don't know what
point.
He needs some knee pads with some icy hot and some arthritis pain medicine and all that stuff built into the pads. That's the only way I can see this dude, being able to stay healthy, which it's like tragic because his talent every single year it gets cut short. But if I had to pick one team, I would say Brooklyn. I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll get the bench. People are probably gonna want to flock to come there because you got some of the best talent in the league.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree, man. Like, I think if that trade happens next year, I do see Brooklyn coming out of the East. No, I say no. They won't be the number one seed. I give them the second seed. Like, Milwaukee plays great during a regular season, but I think Brooklyn will overtake them. Like, long as you take Giannis out of the game, like if you double him and make somebody else beat you, Milwaukee will not win. So I think, and what you said, you don't know who the leader. I think just Grant off his offensive talent will be the leader of that team because he's the only one on that team that's pretty much he can get any shot he wants at any time because he's 7 foot with handles and quickness in the jump shot. So if the game's on the line, he's going to get the ball. So he would end up being the leader of that team. And if that works out for him, that we don't know yet. But I think Brooklyn, they probably blow everybody out, man, early, and they bench would just come in and, just coach. I think they start lineup would get you over 100 points a game. Like Bradley Beal was averaging like 35, 40 for like 10 games. Like if he get hot, it's a wrap. If KD get hot, it's a wrap. And Kyrie, I really don't like Kyrie's style of play. Like he does a lot of dribbling. He's not a traditional point guard. Like he'll come down and dribble out the shot clock, and then you got to force something up at the end. So he's going to kind of have to change his game, kind of tailor his game to cater to Bradley Beal and KD. But legit, I think the Nets will come out the East next year if that trade happens, man. I don't see nobody beating them in the 7-game series. Like Toronto is good. They get all the juice out the orange, but I don't think they have enough offensive firepower to stay with Brooklyn at the end of the day.
And to add on to what you were saying about the Bucks, during that playoff run, they had Robin Lopez or Brook Lopez, which I think is Brook Lopez.
Yeah,
draining threes. Like you can't depend on that. That's not going to be every single playoff series you're going to see that. But plus, though, they didn't have Brogdon. Brogdon was out, I believe, with the injury. So with him coming back, who knows? What the Bucks will do.
He's gone.
He's gone. Oh,
he's gone. He's gone to Indiana,
okay.
and that's the big key. I've been saying that that's their key loss. Losing Brogdon just killed their chances to me. Brogdon was one of the glue to hold that team together to help get them a championship, and he's gone. So they screwed that up.
And they can't possibly defend the Nets. I don't see who's gonna guard KD, who's gonna guard Kyrie, and then if you have Bradley Beal to that too, that starting lineup is lethal. And then you got DeAndre Jordan. As long as he doesn't leave, I think he just signed a 1-year deal, 1 or 2 maybe.
He'll stay. Ain't no question. Stay.
Rebounds and alleys. That's it. You're not trying to do anything else.
Yep.
But that's all. Yeah, that him and KD are buddies, and he came there because KD asked him to come.
Yeah.
So he ain't going nowhere. They're gonna see what they can do with all 3 of them healthy.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I got them coming out east. All right, man. This is our last thing we're gonna cover, man. So when the NBA resumes, and throwing that in the air, it gotta resume. June 1st, you're supposed to hear what's gonna happen, but they got a couple of different playoff formats. Which format would you like the best, man? They got a 16-team format, like the teams that before the season ended, the teams who was in the playoffs would just do they would just head straight to the playoffs. I think they're gonna play like 5 or 6 games and then go straight into the playoffs. Or they're going to do like a 30-team, just play it out. The last team standing wins. With that being said, which format do you think is the best, and who do you have winning the ring this year?
I'll go ahead and say I like the regular playoff format because I don't think it's fair to bring in these other teams that have losing records or teams that, they could have got healthy all of a sudden. That could. I mean, it'll be exciting. It'll be like an NCAA tournament type of thing, best team wins. But I think you put those 8 seeds, you put those in the playoffs. I definitely need to do some exhibition games. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. And then I would have to say, I think the Lakers are going to get it, man. I think with LeBron and with AD and with that, if you got LeBron on the team, it's going to be extremely difficult to beat them. I don't think you can't count out the Clippers, but I think the Lakers are going to be the one that's going to get it. But it's going to be an interesting toss-up because they did have had a long break. So whoever was injured will be coming back healthy. Whoever was gassed or whatever it may have been, they're going to be coming back. But I'll pick the Lakers.
Hey, I totally agree with you 100%. I like that that playoff style you said about the 30 teams and you get them in there and let the best come out of it, but that's not fair. I would love to see that, but it's not fair. I think exactly what the seeding were should be the same as it is now, and you go with that. And who I picked to win? Whoever come out the West. Because I do believe the Lakers and the Clippers are going to be one of the two teams coming out the West. Right now, I have to give the slight edge to the Clippers. I hope I'm wrong. I want the Lakers to do it. But I just don't think, as the Lakers are currently put together, is that they can stop the Clippers bench. And that's what the difference is going to be. LeBron's going to do his thing. AD's going to do his thing. But do they got enough firepower to combat the Clippers bench? I just don't think so. And not only that, the Clippers are going to be so hungry because they know that this is their time. This is their time. As they can see, anything can happen. I don't care how good of a team you have and what you guys are made of. This virus came and almost took that away. So hopefully, because the league is going to come back, so that's a good thing. At some point, it's coming back. But you can see anything can happen. An injury can take you away. So they're hungry, and they know they got to go and get this right now. And is they hungrier than the Lakers? Probably, because Brian has been there so many times. Right. So his hunger ain't as great as let's see, what's
Beverly.
Beverly,
Paul George,
and all those guys, you know,
yeah.
Those guys are hungry dogs. So it's got to be tough for the Lakers. And but between those two, one of them come out the West, that's who's going to win.
I agree. It's like it's bittersweet for me because, as you can see, I'm a diehard Spurs fan. So it's been 22 years since my boys ain't been in the. This the first year they ain't gonna be in the playoffs in 22 years, bro. But
yeah, you want that 30 team.
Dude, but I don't. Like, it's really not fair because it's really not fair. So I'm a team, Matt, but I'm gonna shed a tear for my boys. But me, I'm Team LeBron. It's gonna be the Clippers and the Lakers. Like, that's gonna be the Western Conference Finals, and I gotta go with LeBron going to it's LeBron in the finals. Like, how can you not expect him to go to the finals? And my thing about the Clippers, yes, they are good and they are very tough on defense, but Paul George gonna have to play lights out. Like, he gonna have to be on fire. And I have not seen that from Paul George. Like, I've never seen him. He done had some good games in the playoffs, but I haven't seen Paul George be on each and every time he steps on the floor in the playoffs. So I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Like, Kawhi Leonard, great defender. His offense kind of comes and goes sometimes. So Paul George and Kawhi going to have to be on point offensively to beat the Lakers. And I think at the end of the day, the Lakers bigs is what's going to be the deciding factor. Like, they got JaVale McGee, not that great offensively, but if they get the lobs up there, he's lanky as hell. Send him to the bench. They got Dwight Howard coming in. Y'all know what Dwight Howard can do. Like, he controls the paint, and Dwight was balling before the season ended.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was.
My only question, like my only concern is LeBron. Like, he's not he ain't a spring chicken no more, so he got to get that body back in NBA playoff form. So they say he's been, doing 5-on-5s, but if he comes back and his body is ready to go, it's hard to bet against LeBron not making it to the NBA Finals, given his track record, man. I don't know what it is, but he hit a switch in the playoffs, man, and that's a deadly combo, man. LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
But that, you gotta remember, man, that was in the East, the weak East when he was doing those finals.
True.
This is a different beast, and you're right. his body, because of his, his length of time in this league and over the years, it's going to take some time to get his body going again. And I'm not saying he can't, and I hope he can. I would love to see him back in the way that he was right before all this happened. But you also mentioned these guys on the Clippers their game got to be on point. Paul George and Kawhi, but that's why I said that bench, man. Sweet Lou and Harrells, those guys put up as much points as the starters. They bench, dude. They got a great bench for the last couple of years, 2-3 years now, and no team in the NBA been able to hang with that bench. Even when they stars don't play as well, they bench bring them on in that defense. So that's why they have so many options on scoring versus the Lakers. AD and let's say AD and Bron is on top of their game. The other thing you mentioned is throwing these lobs up to their bigs. Well, remember, Golden State did it well because Golden State, they so selfish that they'll shoot their threes, but they also going to give their big man's easy layups and alley-oops. They were just so selfish. That's just the way they offense run. Lakers offense don't run that way. If they do put that in their offense where we go off a couple of screens, pick and roll, and throw some oops up there, and they make that part of their offense, it's going to do wonders for them because LeBron won't have to work so hard to score. They'll get easy points on lobs, and therefore he'll stay strong and ready for the long run, of the game. But they have to put that in there. They have to use those bigs the way those bigs are able to produce for them. You can't get it to them with their back to the basket. They ain't not going to do nothing. But what do they excel at? Lobs. Right. Give them a bunch of lobs. Do that, and it's going to not only make your game easier, make LeBron them game easier, but it's going to pump them up. They're going to be, happy foot on defense and blocking everything. It's just create great use of them for the team. Yeah, but again, they have to do it.
Yeah, you brought up a great point, man. Sweet Lou, that when he gets in the game, it's like it doesn't even matter that he hadn't played all night. He just comes in and he balls. And then Patrick Beverly, that dude. I would hate to play against him. I would hate to play against that dude. Because he is like that little pesky little kid that's always getting in your face, like, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. He's just like one of those type of people. But he will abuse you, and he will cause turnovers and do whatever. And I love Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers with that crew, man, is probably one of the best possible coaches you could have. With that squad. It's gonna be crazy. The West is so much better now, especially with the players going to the West. I think the biggest question is who's coming out of the East, and that's a coin toss. Like I don't know if we can even pinpoint who's coming out of the East. That's probably the biggest question mark out of the whole NBA when it comes back.
Yeah, the East. At the end of the day, it really don't matter who come out the East. They're not going to beat the West. Like, whoever make it to
they're going to win anyway.
Not beat them. Boston, they good, but Tatum don't ball every game. Like, for Boston to be successful, him and Brown got to ball out every game. Like, Tatum has it. He just got to figure out how to put it together every game. And then Toronto is good. They got the experience now. But you don't know what Milwaukee do. Like, if you can't take Giannis out the game, they gonna win, like, no matter what. So whoever come out the East, they not dealing with the Lakers or the Clippers, man. It's a done deal. But I'm gonna go back to the West, man. You brought up an interesting point with the bigs, and you brought up Harrell, how you say his last name. My knock on him, man, he's good. He's an athletic big man, but he doesn't finish well. So he's going to either have McGee on him or he's going to have Dwight on him. And those are two tough people to score against. JaVale McGee is like, he remind me of Stacey Augmon. He remind me of Plastic Man. Like, he got them go gadget limbs. And then Dwight is physical. Like, Dwight can bang, you know what I'm saying? So Harrell gonna have his hands full, man, at the end of the day. Like, it's not gonna be no easy assignment. And Beverly gonna be on Avery Bradley. Now, during this final, it's going to be if Avery Bradley can get you like 10 to 15 points.
Yes.
10 to 15, I got the Lakers, man. That's really all they need because Anthony Davis going to eat. It's LeBron. Of course, he going to eat. Like, if they get a third option, I don't know what man, what's the license dude with the blonde?
Yeah.
Danny Green.
Danny Green.
No. Kuzma. If Kuzma can come in and give you 15, it's a wrap.
Yeah, they're gonna need that help in scoring. All three of them, Kuzma, Bradley, and Danny Green, is gonna have to pitch in for them to win.
Yeah,
Kuzma's no guarantee.
Right.
You don't know. The dude is too young and too erratic, with his play. Plus, he's not getting that much, playing time anyway. But if Danny Green, if he can do what he did, with the Raptors, giving them 3 or 4 threes a night, and if he get hot, then it's definitely over there.
Yeah. Danny Green is a silent killer, man. He'll hit some threes. You won't notice. He'll have like 6 threes. They'll be real quiet though.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going with the Lakers to win it all, man. It's gonna be tough, but I got them coming out the West, and they gonna finish it, man.
Hey, we get to see some NBA Finals in the summer.
Yeah.
Go figure, huh?
Yeah.
Football, bro. This the best of both worlds.
It's gonna be crazy, and we got baseball at the same time. We could have all 3 sports at the same time. Yeah.
I'm gonna be outside on my big screen, projector every night with my big drink, watching sports. Oh, I'm gonna love it, man.
So
it's gonna be beautiful, man.
Hockey too. Hockey coming in, and I love me some hockey. So, yeah.
All right, man. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Did anybody else had anything they wanted to bring up or cover, man, before we close it out?
Nah.
Can't wait for sports to get back, man. It's closer than it was. And though we didn't have it, we're about to get like a huge package every single night. It's going to be something on. So,
yes.
We have a lot to talk about.
For sure. Yeah, June 1st, we should have the NBA, what they plan to do, man. That's what I'm hearing. So, in a couple of days, man, it's going to be green light. I think they're going to be playing at Disneyland, Disney World, whichever one in Florida. I think that's where they're playing at.
Yeah, that's what I heard, too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, Ben, we want to thank you, man, for joining Deez Sports Nuts, man. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, man. Love to come on again, man. It was great.
No doubt, man. Definitely do that, man. And everybody be safe out there. Corona's still out there, man. So try your best to practice your social distancing, man. And we'll see y'all on the next episode.
All right. Peace out, guys.
All right.